Hi, this is Steve Ferraro, and this video is meant to be a short, try to keep it as short as I can, update on what's going on with my foot surgery for friends and family, and also meant to be a mini review on only day two. Yesterday, I had an Arthrosurface TotalToe Implant to replace my failed kylectomy from September of last year. So 8 months ago, I finally had my foot fixed after about a 15-year-old Taekwondo injury. Stupidly, somebody did a technique incorrectly. I'd been teaching for a lot of years, but had been out for a couple of years. They did the technique as just a wimpy little step behind, and I said, no, you're supposed to jump and land and key up as you make the new strike hard, pop the uniform, of course. I like doing that. And at the very same time, drive the ball of your foot into the floor and have it all happen at the same time. Very impressive. People loved how I did it. I loved doing it. But I hadn't been training for a while. I didn't pull my big toe back far enough. And I drove my foot as hard as I could, from as high as I could, into the floor. Never fixed it. Limped around. Finally, after about 15 years, I needed to get it fixed. The second follow-up appointment, the new doc, I went through 5 different surgeons to finally find the great doc, Dr. Charles Daniel. He's out of Podiatry Associates in Castle Pines and Parker, Colorado. I highly recommend, if you have the resources and you're watching this video because you're trying to figure out what to do with your hallux rigidus, probably pretty rare, but if you can find the resources and get yourself here to a nice trip to Colorado, I think you'll be extremely happy. Now, I am only day 2, but I am so impressed with the difference between the kylectomy. At this point of the kylectomy, I would have been a 7 to 9.5 in pain. At this point, not quite 24 hours later, I got wheeled into surgery yesterday at 1:43, and it's now not even, that's just about 9 o'clock. So, 4 hours short of, so about 20 hours. And the difference, I'm now between a 0 and 1 for pain. I've been walking to the bathroom. I can walk around slow and easy without my large boot that I had from the kylectomy. I have it back on now because it's easier to hold the ice in, and it gives me a little bit of stability. There's just ace bandage under there, so nothing to see. But I frankly don't even really need the boot on. I am using a cane on my left arm just for balance, just to make sure I don't lose my balance. And let's talk about pain. Yesterday when I got home at 5 o'clock, I took 2 hydrocodones because I wanted to stay ahead of the pain. Probably only needed 1. I took 1 more at 10 p.m. before bed. And I took 1 this morning at 5, and I'll continue 5, 10, and 5 and 10 like that, probably only for another day or so. The pain is that minimal. I tend to lean a little bit and focus on the negative things. It's just my personality. My brother Paul Ferraro, you're going to have to stop this recording and clear your eyes from all the laughter and compose yourself, or you're going to miss the next 10 comments. He's been telling me that for years, that I'm extremely negative. But the only negativity and pain here is going to be for most of you watching this video suffering from varying degrees of TMS. And that stands for too much Steve. Sorry. And that sorry is for my new friends in Canada, Michelle and Trevor, and also for Dr. Dave Harrison, who's retired from doing surgeries up there, and thought you'd get a kick out of that. So gone through pain management. My motion is pretty easy. I do have a bag of peas tied behind my knee. So that's a good idea, and I think that's helped me. Now, there is the possibility, of course, still feeling whatever local anesthetic, nerve block, and sedation from yesterday. One person in my new Facebook group, and oh boy, his name's Pete, and I don't have his last name, but you'll find him over there. If you go to that Facebook group, I'll put a link in the comments to that group Took me a while to find it. Ironically, I just got admitted 2 days ago. And the comments were terrific and encouraging. I'd been in another Facebook group called Big Toe Fusions Only, and there's 2.2 thousand people in there. And while most of them tried to say how happy they were in general, in their comments, there were a ton of issues that I did not want to deal with. Probably the two main ones were the fusion. You don't have a joint anymore, of course, and I'm concerned about adjacent joint disorder up into the foot and the ankle. The same knee has already been repaired 3 times, and I was starting to feel a lot of pain in my opposite hip. So I really wanted no part of the fusion. The 5th surgeon, 2 left the practice. All 4 of them recommended a fusion. One said, I'll just use the same implant. I don't like doing them, but I'll use the same implant I've been using for 20 years. Red flag, didn't want that. And the fourth one was kind of funny. She walked in and she looked 19 years old. I'm sure she was probably in her late 20s, having just completed her internship. And the question came up about, well, have you done closer to 5 or 50 of these fusions? And she said, well, I've seen it a bunch of times in my internship, but I've only done a handful myself. So I heard that as 1 or none. Found Dr. Daniel, 20 years experience, done a ton of them. And he also mentioned that he is at the, I don't know what he called it exactly, but at some recognized level with the company, Arthrosurface, who makes Arthrosurface. I think it's called Anita. But if you're looking that up, you'll find all that detail. I'm also going to post in the comments a short video. It's 2.5 minutes long of exactly what I had done yesterday. And they say that they are the only implant of dozens and dozens and dozens of them, too many to make sense out of. That's why I'd asked the other doc, which one will you use? They say they're the only one that has the titanium bolt screwed into both the proximal phalangeal surface, which is the one towards the outside of your end of your toe. It's that second joint back from the end of your big toe. And the first metatarsal, which is the bone that's farther back where it connects to your foot, that they're the only one that screws in both sides. So that eliminates the loosening problem that people have had. A ton of people have had to have their Cartiva implants removed and been unhappy. You can find that research out there. But I couldn't find a single negative thing about the Arthrosurface, and believe me, I looked. Couldn't find anything negative about it, and I am thrilled not even 24 hours in. Now, Pete said that the second day was his worst day, but that it got better by the 3rd day. So I may have pain coming later today. I'm not sure. I don't think so. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like this was the right way to go for me. I will make another follow-up quick video, much shorter than this one, after my first post-op appointment, which with the holiday got pushed out to Tuesday. So Tuesday afternoon, if you're curious and getting any help from this, the only people getting help are ones who are in my situation trying to decide what to do. And I know there's a ton of us out there. I read comments like the fusion is archaic and you lose the joint and all sorts of negative things, and they all resonated with me, maybe my personality. I didn't like anything about the fusion idea, and I loved everything about the idea of replacing the joint like a hip replacement or like a knee replacement. At least one person, only 20 hours in, extremely happy. Now, of course, I am not medically trained in any way, but I'll be happy to try to answer any questions you may have. Leave them in the comments. And thinking of this being on YouTube, share it with whoever you like. If folks at Arthrosurface want to share it, I'm giving my consent for that. But so far, I'm a big fan of the Arthrosurface TotalToe replacement, which basically means that they did it on both bones, because I needed that. I had pretty severe arthritis. Hope that helps. Hope it clears up how I'm doing for family and friends. And sorry about your suffering of TMS. Take care.